If you put a picture of the NASCAR Next Gen car and a Gen 3 Aussie V8 Supercar side by side, you'd see there's a lot of overlap. While not completely one-to-one, they're similar enough where one might think that a driver that excels in one can excel in the other. We have seen this bared out with Shane van Gisbergen, 3-time Supercars champion, winning in his very first Cup Series race. SVG has decided to continue going down the NASCAR path. But he's not the only one from Supercars trying their hand at NASCAR. Brodie Kostecki, Cam Waters, and Will Brown have also made Cup starts within the last 2 years. That's not even mentioning another former champion in Scott McLaughlin, who left several years ago to run IndyCar for Roger Penske. One guy might be an anomaly, but 4 or 5 guys means a trend is forming. There must be a deeper reason why drivers from Australia, or New Zealand like in SVG and McLaughlin's case, are branching out to go race in America. Today, I will examine why. The first obvious reason is the cars are so similar enough where the learning curve won't be as steep, especially on road courses. But while Van Gisbergen enjoyed learning the Cup and Xfinity cars, he had scathing remarks for the current Supercars regulations. The qualifying there is awesome, but the racing sucks. It's so boring. You're driving around at 30% trying to keep the tires, and everybody is just following each other. The tire just explodes because it's running too high, and you just follow each other around. It's mind-numbing. I came here to NASCAR and the race is just a hustle the whole time. You're driving flat out. That's what I love. Now is a good time to switch. Now, if you've been following NASCAR a long time, you might find his statement funny, because a lot of that could be applied to current day NASCAR, but I think for SVG in particular, now was the right time to switch. He accomplished all he could in Supercars, won the titles, won the Bathurst 1000, he didn't really have anything else to do. I think another reason why drivers are making the switch is how Supercars as a championship is run and formatted. Supercars run 3 races per weekend with the exception of Bathurst. So even though they will be running 34 races in 2025, there's really only 13 race weekends on the schedule. This gives drivers ample time to make appearances in other series. And with NASCAR increasing the number of road courses recently, there's a higher chance one of them falls during a break in the Supercars calendar. We saw this in 2023 with SVG and Brodie Kostecki running at Indy, and in 2024 when Cam Waters and Will Brown ran at Sonoma. From just some basic research, I found that the Supercars schedule is that way because a lot of their tracks are coming under threat from real estate developers and local governments, and many have actually already closed. On top of that, it's hard to organize a street course race in that type of environment too. It becomes difficult to come up with a good schedule when your tracks are shuttering their doors constantly. On top of all this, General Motors shut down the Holden brand several years ago. If you weren't aware, the rivalry between Ford and Holden was at the heart of Australian racing, and to lose Holden and have it be replaced by Chevy, it just doesn't hit the same way. Going even further, for 2025, Supercars will be adopting a NASCAR-style playoff format, becoming the first series outside of the NASCAR bubble to follow suit, which is a real shame because it sucks and will only enable NASCAR's brass to continue going down that road, but I digress. NASCAR has done it this way for 10-20 years, so it comes with the territory. Supercars following suit is honestly a silly mistake from a series that is already losing a ton of star power. I wanted to get an opinion from an actual Supercars fan and got this. The local element of our sport has been slowly siphoned. Iconic tracks have since been excluded from the calendar and long-running teams have been backing out. The commentary has sucked for years and Gen 3 just isn't doing anything for me. These cars have barely any presence or relevance in Australia. They're soulless. Half of the appeal for me, other than the quality of the racing, was that the cars actually used to at least look like the cars that you'd see every day and that you could buy. Ironically, in some ways, this exact message could be copy-pasted, have a few words changed, and would also be a totally fitting description of modern-day NASCAR. I guess the two series are even more similar than I first thought. In any case, it will be interesting to see how Supercars evolves, or perhaps devolves. Will their loss be NASCAR's gain, or are both series being hamstrung by lackluster management? I want to hear from any Aussie fans who come across this video. What is your opinion on why drivers are leaving for America, and the health of Supercars as a whole? Thank you. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.